Good morning. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, everybody. It is a Friday here in Bangkok, 9 a.m., August 9th. And today we have a subject I don't usually talk about this much because I'm not interested in it. But a lot of people are. And, you know, Thailand is widely known for having the most prominent and visible community of ladyboys or kathoeys in the world. The country's cultural acceptability and visibility is significant, with many working in various industries such as entertainment, beauty, and hospitality. Thailand's open and relatively tolerant, that's a good word, attitude towards gender diversity makes it a notable destination for the ladyboy community. So we're going to talk about that. I'll get into the basics of it, the summarization of it. We'll get into the top 5 countries for ladyboys. You might be surprised about it. We'll also touch on why they're so fascinating to some people. Maybe it's just a curiosity, I don't know, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. And we'll get into some more detailed discussion about it. And what else here? Let's see, we'll talk about the countries, and we'll talk about the famous ladyboys around the world, and also a ladyboy that I happen to know, I happen to have met and done some skits with her. I was on TV with her a long time ago. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And anyway, we'll also talk about a little bit of the news just for a few minutes. There was another late night brawl among Kuwaiti tourists, Kuwaiti on Kuwaiti. And, you know, they're having more of these problems. And like, to me, you go to another country and you want to start a brawl where you're going to get into a full-fledged brawl where there's 10 or 20 guys and they're all fighting each other. To me, it's just, that's kind of stupid. You're supposed to be on holiday, and it's younger students on their leave from school that are starting these problems. Who knows, maybe somebody says something, the other person doesn't like it, next thing you know, they're brawling. And they're also brawling with Thais. Those people are supposed to be deported. And honestly, I think that's what they need to, that's what needs to happen. They need to be deported. They need to get kicked out. And, you know, make it that, you got to make the consequences harsh. Because if they're not harsh, people just do whatever they want. And that's what people have been doing in Thailand for many, many years. You know, think about it, with the visas and, you know, how you deal with visas and corruption. Many years ago, I'm talking about 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was you just paid a little money and you could get anything you want done. Now, it's still sort of like that, but when it comes to people brawling, when it comes to people, you know, like taxi drivers getting into fights with Grab taxi drivers and stuff like that, it's a bit ridiculous. Now, I gotta say, last night I was at my kid's school, and, you know, I was there with Alex, and we were coming home, and we walked outside. There's 3 or 4 taxis sitting there. We asked every single taxi, do you want to go to Bangkapi? It's a 400 or 500 baht fare. It's not cheap. Every single one of them said, no, don't want to go. I said, okay. The guy goes, oh, let me call somebody. I said, okay. So after about 10 minutes, nobody had come. He hadn't said anything. I go, man, screw this. I called Grab. We got picked up by a brand new electric car, station wagon, very nice. The guy was very quiet, very nice, no problems. And the guy's like, oh, you take care, you go to Bangkapi? I said, don't worry about it, man. I got it under control. So that's how we got home. And it was actually 520 baht to get home. 503 baht to get there, 520 baht to get back. So anyway, so I couldn't get a taxi. And you know, the thing is, when you want a taxi, you can't get them. And that's not how it's supposed to be. When you want a taxi, you should be able to get one within a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes at the most. Anyway, let me go on here. Now, I guess there are some kids who were seen in a video of two women. The women are sitting there, and what are they doing? They're working. They got their kids at work, and they're vaping. And so the ladies are saying, this is our style, leave us alone, we're not hurting anybody. And, you know, people are saying, listen, you got little kids there and you're vaping around them. It's not good, blah, blah, blah. And so now the whole government's in an uproar because they're not sure what to do. The government warned the two mothers and educated them on child safety and how to raise children properly in accordance with the Child Protection Act. Shelter took the children for a medical examination. Authorities will monitor the two mothers and take legal action against them if parental care or lack thereof harms the welfare or health of the children. Thailand's aging society is compelling the government to pay heed to quality child care. All right. That's all I'm going to say about this. But what I will say is that when it comes to child care, there's always been a problem here in Thailand because some of the people, you know, the kid's screaming. He maybe, you know, who knows? He's hungry. She's hungry, whatever. They're screaming. I'm talking about a little baby, and the mother just whacks them. I've seen it happen. I've seen it where they grab sticks, where they grab switches, and they just start whacking the kid. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what do you got to do this for? This is not necessary. And they just don't understand. So they need to learn, and that's going to take a while. So I think that's what was going on here. But anyway, let me get to the next one here. What is this here? Holiday weekend revenue set to disappoint. Household debt, cost of living share the blame. Tourism income from 2.6 million domestic trips during Mother's Day holiday this year is estimated to reach 9.3 billion baht, dipping from recent back-to-back long holidays in July, according to the Tourism Authority of Thailand. Hello, Bruce. Good morning. The previous two holidays in July recorded 9.58 billion baht in tourism revenue. They're always trying to figure out just how much money's coming in, just how many people are coming in. And honestly, I understand why they're doing it. I understand it's important, but I think they need to concentrate on everybody who comes here gets a quality experience. Not he gets his ass beat by some taxi driver. And so what I was getting at about the taxi drivers with me is that in some cases you try to take a Grab or a Bolt or an in-driver taxi, and if other taxi drivers see you doing that, they'll go after the driver. They'll make a problem. And I'm thinking, first of all, it's your own doing, because most taxi drivers are okay, but there is enough of them that cause problems where people are saying, you know what, I'd rather just pay more and go to Grab and go to Bolt, whatever. But in this instance, I needed to get somewhere and they just flat out didn't want to go. So I'm like, I'll go however I want, buddy. You know, I mean, if they wanted to start a problem about that, I would have said, listen, it's not for you to say. You got an issue about it, talk to the government, take care of things, call the police, do whatever you want to do. But if I want to go back in the Grab, I should be able to. And they didn't say anything. You know, they didn't want any problems, which was good. So no problem there for me. Household debts and the cost of living were also taken into account as people exercise extra caution when deciding on leisure trips. Well, I think any time after COVID, people have been using extra caution about how they spend their money, about when they're going on trips. Do they need to come to Thailand and they're in the United States? Do they need to spend $1,000, $1,500 to come over on an economy flight? Do they really want to do that? Or how about you just go to Mexico for $300, or you go to Hawaii from LA for a couple $100, and you go have a good time there? There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why less Westerners are coming to Thailand. Those with high purchasing power may also choose overseas trips with their mothers to celebrate a special occasion instead of staying home. With high competition from overseas trips, especially from nearby countries that offer tour packages with an affordable price of only 10,000 baht, some tourists decided to book outbound trips as a gift for their mothers. Okay, I understood. You want to go somewhere and, okay, I can get a round trip ticket for 10,000 baht. Well, I'm saving, 4,000 or 5,000 baht. I better run and take that trip. Average hotel occupancy during the upcoming long weekend is 68% for the whole country. It says the central region would attract the most visitors with 672,000. North, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Bangkok is forecast to secure the most revenue with 2.32 billion baht, followed by the eastern region with 1.98. Okay, so this is an example of, that you're not always going to get more and more and more and more tourists. I don't know what they don't understand about this. The agency will use many events this weekend to draw tourists to more destinations outside of Bangkok, such as Amazing Food Festival 2024, which will be held in Prachuap Khiri Khan between August 10th and 12th, and Amazing Beach Life. Everything's amazing. Everything is beautiful. When you want to buy something, that every lady worth her salt will go, oh, soy, oh, soy, oh, it's so beautiful. And you go, oh, it's cheap also. Amazing Beach Life in Songkhla, which starts today and continues through August 11th. So I don't know what they're getting at here, but I think their marketing has not been up to snuff. I think they had that one thing where it was like why you shouldn't go to Thailand or something like that, and that was kind of viral, a viral video. And then before that, it was Amazing Thailand. All right, now one more thing before we get started here. Online fraud reports reach 3.47 billion baht in July. 34,989 online fraud reports filed through ThaiPoliceOnline.com, resulting in damages of 3.47 billion baht, 111.98 million baht per day. Requests for account freezes amounted to 13.54 billion baht, with 1.49 billion successfully frozen. All right, I mean, that's just kind of crazy. I don't know, how much it is worldwide, but the fact that that's happening, I don't know exactly what kind of deals they're doing, what kind of scams are going on. I get people writing me all the time that they want me to do deals with them, or like on YouTube, will you give us your channel? We're what do they call it? The where they monetize your channel. Well, YouTube monetizes the channel through them, and then you get a percentage, but they're supposed to promote your channel to the point where you get a lot more visitors, a lot more hits, a lot more views. And I never do it because it's a ripoff. So this kind of thing shouldn't be happening. But anyway, we're gonna get to the ladyboy thing, because I don't know, I thought it was a unique subject, something we haven't talked about and we should talk about. But before that, the dollar is 35.18. Yesterday it was like 35.56. I don't know what's going on. Air quality is 44, temperature is 84 degrees, the high of 94, low of 81. Feel like temperature is 89, and the humidity is 77%. And it's going to be cloudy for the next few days. The rain warnings are gone, so that's good. And then before I get going here, do me a favor. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, smash that like button, go down into the description, take a look, find out all the ways you can spread the love, show the love, and you can just follow along, see what's going on. You can always just watch. You can watch for a couple minutes, you can watch for the whole stream, doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. So, here we go. We're going to talk about ladyboys. I don't really know what to say, but I got a lot to say. Okay, so in Thailand, ladyboys are known as kathoeys. They are transgender women or effeminate men who identify with a gender different from their assigned sex at birth. The term kathoey can encompass a broad spectrum of gender identities, but it is most commonly associated with transgender women. The concept of a third gender is not new, and it's accepted here in Thailand, and has historical roots in many cultures worldwide. In Thailand, the visibility and acceptability, the acceptance of ladyboys is particularly prominent, distinguishing the country on the global stage. So that's the difference, first of all. Good morning. The existence of kathoeys in Thai culture can be traced back centuries. Ancient texts and art suggest that gender diversity has long been acknowledged in Thai society. Because I always wonder, is there something in the water? What is it? And I think that one word that I said earlier, which is tolerance. These monsters don't fascinate me. They are terrifying. Well, that's really open-minded, Fred. I understand what you're saying, but I mean, you know, that's not the kind of thing that you really want to say, because they can do whatever they want. I don't care what they do. My thinking on the matter is, I don't really understand their need to change genders. I don't understand that. However, it's their life. I don't care what they do. Just if you want to have sex with other people, whoever they may be, all I say is don't do it in front of me. Do it behind closed doors like, you know, normal people. And that's it. I don't care other than that. I walk through the mall, there's ladyboys in the cosmetics department, ladyboys working in the grocery store, there's ladyboys everywhere in Thailand. And, you know, for me, I just go, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. It doesn't change me. It doesn't change my life. It doesn't make me less happy. You know, so to me, it's like, and I have said this in the past. I've said, you know, as long as they do what they want to do in the confines of their own domiciles, whatever you want to say, that's fine with me. They can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter. I don't care who's sticking anything where, because guess what? For hundreds of years, people have been doing it. The Romans used to do it. You know, so doesn't matter. Very open-minded about that. I don't really feel the need to, you know, give them a hard time or anything like that. And if you give them a hard time to their face, a lot of them, they might get violent with you, which, you know, okay, maybe that's not right, but it's understandable, because they don't push their way on you. You shouldn't push your way on them. Let's see here. Thai society has traditionally been more accepting of gender nonconformity than many other cultures, which I have said. This acceptance is reflected in the relative openness and visibility of ladyboys in various aspects of Thai life, from religious ceremonies to popular media. Yeah, I mean, you know, only people who are insecure with their own sexuality will be worried. Yeah, I mean, can you pick them out a mile away? I don't know about a mile, because that's pretty far. I can't even see a mile away. But usually, yes, I can pick them out. I've only been fooled one time, and that was when I first came over here, and I was sitting next to one in the bar, and it was dark. I couldn't see, and you know, I was talking to it, and I was like, something's not right here. I kind of went, oh, voices, and I thought, oh, he's kind of cute, you know. And then, like, I hit its leg. I was touching its leg with my leg because we were sitting next to each other. And I went, ooh, it's a little too firm. I was like, and I didn't even think of it at the time. And then some girl that I knew came up to me and goes, that's a ladyboy. And I went, oh. And I went up to it. I went right back to it. And I said, hey, listen, you're a ladyboy, and I'm not into that. So, you know, that's it. And I went on my way. And there was no, you know, there was no hatred. There's, you know, I don't care. Oops, sorry. I'm glad I found out right when I sat down within a few minutes, instead of, you know, like taking you home or something like that, and, you know, having something flop out that's not supposed to flop out. So, anyway, role of Buddhism. As the predominant religion in Thailand, Buddhism plays a significant role in shaping social attitudes. While not explicitly endorsing transgender identities, the Buddhist emphasis on karma, compassion, and tolerance, there's that word again, has contributed to a generally more accepting environment for kathoeys. Some Thais believe that being born as a kathoey could be the result of karma from past lives, a belief that could result in a mix of empathy and stigmatization. Now, what I will say is I know a couple, not real well, but I know a couple. One of them is the one that I talked about, who I was in a commercial with, or in a show with, rather. And the other one is somebody who works with my wife. And she, you know, she's a little on the heavy side, but she's always been very, very nice to me. Very, you know, I mean, just get along with her like you get along with anybody else. It's not a big deal. And, you know, that's all I can say. I've gone out with her and my wife probably 3 or 4 times, and she's always funny, and, you know, I always have a pretty good time, and, you know, there's no, you know, like, hey, you like that? There's none of that going on. So, to me, it's not a big deal, because unlike some people, I am comfortable in my sexuality because I know what I'm getting when I go back home. And I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to question, should I be with that instead of this? Doesn't happen. All right, let me go on here. Social and economic aspects. Visibility in media and entertainment. Ladyboys are prominently featured in Thai media, including TV shows. Usually a TV show, well, sometimes in TV shows, they have the token ladyboy. And the ladyboy is always the one who is very, very scared, or very, very funny, or, you know, they're one of the extremes. They often achieve celebrity status, which helps to normalize their presence in society, which is true. Many ladyboys find work in the entertainment and tourism industries where their identity is often celebrated. Beauty pageants and cabaret shows, such as the famous Tiffany show in Pattaya, are popular venues for ladyboys. Now, I gotta say, when I first came here, I was with a girl, and she said, you wanna go to the show? And I said, what show? The Tiffany show. Some of the ladyboys are beautiful. And I was like, I don't think so. I said, I'll go. So we went. And, I mean, some of them you couldn't, it was very hard to tell. Most of the time, like when I see ladyboys walking around in the mall or some other places, I can tell. Some of them, I feel bad for, because no matter what kind of work they have done, they're just gonna always not look like a woman. And there used to be one at 7-Eleven, and I used to just be like, man, I felt so sorry for it. And you could see that it was kind of in pain from its life. You could just see it. And, you know, I was like, all right, whatever. But, I mean, all it takes is about 2 seconds, and then I'm like, all right, well, you know, everybody has their own way in life. Everybody has their own mentality, and so that's it. It's 2 seconds. Oh, wow, that kind of sucks for her, I guess. And then I'm on my way. Despite their visibility, kathoey still face significant discrimination, particularly in areas of employment, healthcare, and legal rights. Many are relegated to certain industries that may struggle to find acceptance in other professional fields. Now, listen, I don't know if you guys remember. There may be some of you who were around at the time. And this is when Starbucks was right here. Starbucks used to be right here in this location. And they had this, I'll just say person, because I didn't know if it was a man or a woman. And it was very nice, very polite, as you would expect for somebody working in Starbucks. But I never knew what it was. And finally, somebody told me, oh, well, she's a ladyboy. She used to be a guy. I was like, okay. But the only thing that person ever did was pick up trash. Pick up all the stuff that people left behind when they ate or drank. That's all it ever did. They would not let her work the cash register. You know, and to me, it's unfathomable that you are allowed as a young child in America. I mean, a young child, like under 10 years old in some places. I don't know the exact laws, but it's unfathomable to me that you could let them make the choice for themselves as to their gender, and you would even bring it up. Because if they have their own way of thinking, they're going to think it without being told. Instead of you going, you can be a boy or a girl. You don't have to wear, you know, have G.I. Joe and all this other stuff. You can wear a little pink tutu. You can play with Barbies. And the guy's like, really? You know, to me, I think that's too much. That's taking it too far. All right, let me go on. In Thailand, kathoeys are not legally recognized as women. I thought they were. This lack of recognition impacts various aspects of their lives, including the ability to change their legal gender on official documents. Let me see if that changed, because I thought it changed. Let's see. Oh, it's non-existent. Even if a transgender person has had sex reassignment surgery, they are not allowed to change their legal sex on their identification documents. Wow. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let me go on. Let me go on with this fascinating subject. While kathoeys enjoy a degree of social acceptance, this does not always translate into full societal integration. Discrimination and stigmatization still exist, particularly in more conservative rural areas. So, I mean, I've seen it to where they're not allowed to do certain things, but then every once in a while I'll hear, oh, this person is a CEO and they're a kathoey. While Thailand is the most famous country for its ladyboy community, other countries in Southeast Asia, such as the Philippines, also have visible transgender communities. In the Philippines, transgender individuals are often referred to as baka or bayot. In contrast to Thailand, the legal and social status of transgender individuals vary significantly around the world. Western countries, for example, have seen significant strides in legal recognition and rights for transgender people, but social acceptance remains mixed. And I would say, you know, there's a lot of people who have Fred's mentality about, oh, they're monsters. Fred, I would say, do you even know any transgenders? Like, have you ever sat down and talked to one, said, hey, how you doing? You know, that kind of thing? My guess is you probably haven't. And, you know, I'm not siding with them, but I'm just saying, I don't think you have a very open mind. And you don't have to. You can think however you want. Let's see here. Influence of Western LGBTQ, I can never get that right, plus movements. Global LGBTQ plus movements have influenced the visibility and rights of transgender individuals worldwide, leading to increased advocacy and legal protections in some regions. Now, what I don't think is that the Olympics, which is supposed to concentrate on sports and culture, should be throwing out all transgenders or people in drag in the opening ceremonies. I don't particularly think that's right. I think it's, what do you need to know about that? We don't celebrate our heterosexuality, so why do we have to celebrate their, you know, I just don't get it. All right, let me go on. The thriving tourism industry in Thailand has contributed to the global fame of ladyboys. Many tourists are drawn to Thailand's transgender cabaret shows, pageants, and the general visibility of the toys. The focus on ladyboys within the tourism industry has raised concerns about exploitation and the commodification of transgender identities. While some kathoeys benefit economically from tourism, others may feel pressured into roles that perpetuate stereotypes. Now listen, I covered a fight. It was in the women's prison. Big fight, you know. No, I don't think they should be either. But I covered this big fight in the women's prison. This is back probably 15 years ago, 16 years ago. You know, it was a women's championship fight. So, you know, I say big, but for Thailand it was pretty big. For the world, it wasn't exactly the biggest fight. But before the fight started, up on the stage they had transgender cheerleaders. In between rounds, the round card person was a transgender. Well, there were several of them, and they were the ones with the ring cards, which I just went, oh man, that's too much for me. It's out of whack. But you know, all right, whatever. It's not my event. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I don't want to get into a stink about it. So I just was like, okay, whatever. And you know, people were kind of laughing and they were surprised. But you know, at the end of the day, listen, if they want to do it, okay. Doesn't mean I have to go the next time. Just like if I saw that at the Olympics and they said, oh yeah, in the next Olympics, it's going to be even better. It's going to be even more diversified or whatever. I would be like, I'm not going. I just don't want to. To me, it's too much. And I don't care what they want to do between themselves. Just like I don't care what, you know, Tom and Sally do amongst themselves. If they want to get it on, well, great. Go home. Get a room. Do whatever. I never seen many old ladyboys, but I heard guys say they become street food vendors. Some of them, yes. Some of them do. Some of them, listen, like I said, I met Nong Tum, who was the beautiful boxer. You know, she was a guy when she was young, and she was growing up, and she just felt that she was a female. So she had she used her fight purses to pay for her gender reassignment surgery, and she became a star. And she's a minor star, But I mean, when I was in the show with her, she was a pretty big star. So I'll get into that in a little bit, but let me go on. Let's see. In recent years, there's been an increase in advocacy for transgender rights in Thailand. Yeah, okay, whatever. Organizations and activists are working to address issues such as legal recognition, healthcare access, and discrimination. I don't know why they wouldn't have access to healthcare other than, I don't really know about that. Discrimination, okay, that's going to happen. That's always going to happen. Just like I get discriminated by some Thais because I'm not Thai, just like some black people in America might be discriminated against by some whites, just like some whites might be discriminated against in some other areas because they're not whatever. It's always going to happen. You're a different tribe. And this is a very different tribe. So it's always going to happen. I don't see it getting any better. I don't see the discrimination get to the point where everybody's holding hands and singing Kumbaya, my love. Okay, public perception of toys is evolving with younger generations becoming more accepting and open to diversity in gender identity. However, traditional views and prejudices still persist in some segments of society. I have seen amongst students that they have friends, and I've asked Alex about it, and he goes, hey, yeah, we got a couple in class, and he's not good friends with them, but he doesn't have any problems with them. So even in his school, they had a couple in the class. All right. The future for kathoeys in Thailand and around the world is likely to involve continued efforts towards achieving greater legal recognition, social acceptance, and equal opportunities. Okay. So, social and cultural acceptance. Thai culture has had a long history of recognizing and accepting gender diversity. I thought at some point that they were allowed to put whatever they are, whatever they think they are on the driver's license, but I guess I'm wrong. The concept of the third gender is ingrained in Thai society, making it more culturally acceptable for individuals to express their gender identity openly. Hola, hola. The dominant religion in Thailand in Thailand, Theravada Buddhism, generally promotes tolerance and compassion. While not explicitly supporting all aspects of LGBTQ plus rights, it tends to be more accepting of diverse gender identities compared to some other religious contexts. I think it's Iran or Iraq that does not allow gays, but they do allow transgenders, because they have nothing supposedly in the Quran that talks about transgender, so they just allow it. I'm not positive about that, but I thought it was Iran or Iraq. So there you go. Ladyboys in Thailand are often seen visible in media, entertainment, and public life, providing role models for younger generations. This visibility helps normalize their presence in society. I would say it's pretty normalized in this culture. I'm not saying that they don't suffer discrimination. I'm sure they do. But you go to a cosmetics department, there's always going to be one or two at least working in the cosmetics department. And the reason is because, and usually I wouldn't say they're attractive, but they're somewhat, they're acceptable, they're decent looking. And what it is you have the women going to them, and the women look at them and they go, I used to be a guy, now it's a woman. Wow, that makeup looks pretty good on her. Oh, maybe I should get this. And that's what they do. And I'm trying to think of where I see some others in the mall, but I mean, they sell food. Not so many, but there are some that sell food. I mean, there's some that sell telephones. I'm trying to think. it's not a huge number. There's some that work in a grocery, and there are some that they're not, they haven't had any kind of gender reassignment surgery, but you can tell. Now, we would call them gay, but in Thailand, they might call them kathoey. And I mean, they're the ones who, when they have the little dances where all well, some of the employees go out and dance to music for the entertainment of the customers, that the best dancers will be the little gay guys. They're out there, just they're out there doing their thing, and people are like, wow, oh. And they usually are the best dancers. I mean, honestly. All right, let me go on here. Many ladyboys find employment in industries such as entertainment, beauty, and hospitality. As I said, these sectors can offer better financial prospects than other job opportunities available to them. Some of them are comedians. Some of them are on TV, and they're actors and actresses. Now, the show that I was watching was a Thai show, and the guy's name was, I think it's Srena Hoy. Srena Hoy. He's a little guy. He's shorter than me. And he's got a big mop of hair. Big old curly frizzy hair. And he's a comedian. So he has a show he had a show, I don't know, this is a long time ago. He had a show with 2 other people. And so they came to the gym and they wanted to do a show. And I happened to be at the gym, and so they were like, okay, you got to do this and got to do that. I said, okay. So we're hitting the bag, kicking, we were doing all kinds of things. And then what they did was they put Srena Hoy, the comedian, in the ring with the lady boy, and I think it was Srena Hoy who was like punching, and instead of punching, like 1, 2, 3, he was punching like a girl. And so Nong Toom was trying to teach it how to punch properly, how to kick properly, something like that. I don't remember the whole thing, but what I remember is that she was very nice, very cordial, and I just did my thing in the gym, and then I left. And I haven't seen her ever since. But I hear about her every so often. Okay. Thailand has a strong community and support network for ladyboys, including organizations that provide assistance and advocacy for transgender rights. The significant tourism industry in Thailand has created demand for ladyboy performances and entertainment, further increasing their visibility and acceptance. Now, what I will say is that every so often, if I'm around a bunch of guys, there's always one in the crowd that's like, I don't care who sucks my dick. It could be a ladyboy, it could be whoever. Don't knock it till you try it. There's usually somebody in the crowd. And to be honest, a lot of the people, I hate to say this, Andy, and everybody else who's Australian, but a lot of them are Australians. They've been Australians. I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good question, though. But let me see something here. Because, I guess it's just, some guys, they don't care where they're sticking it. They just want to blow a load, Some are physically attractive. Some think about them as being exotic and very different. Some men may have those kind of, I have to tell a story. They may have that inkling towards going that way. Some may feel better connected with men than with women, which, okay, that's kind of sad. And, if you come to Thailand, it's more socially acceptable, so some men don't care, and I will get into that in just a minute. Good morning, Jim. And for some men, the attraction to ladyboys may stem from a sense of sexual curiosity or desire to explore different sexual experiences. Some guys want to be with 2, 3 women, 5 women. Some guys want to be with 2 women and a guy. I mean, you know, whatever floats your boat. Some men might feel less pressure to conform to traditional gender roles when they're with a ladyboy, allowing for a more open and flexible dynamic in the relationship. It's important to recognize that relationships involving ladyboys, like all relationships, are deeply personal and can be based on a wide range of motivations, desires, and emotions. Now, this is ChatGPT, and I can tell you that ChatGPT generally has a very PC mentality. Yeah. Okay, so let me get into this. I want to tell the story before I get into the top 5 countries with the most visible and sizable transgender populations. And you know, I've told this story before, but generally I don't tell this to a lot of people. I've never told it, I don't think, on the, I don't know really. I don't think I've told it on the streams before. Maybe I've told it once or twice, but you know, I've been doing this for a while now, so hard for me to remember. But a long time ago, my buddy who lives in Ecuador said to me, hey, I got 2 friends, they're coming over to Bangkok, and they really need somebody to show them the ropes. Know how to please them, maybe. Less emotionally volatile. I don't think that's true, honestly, because I'll tell you, really, some of the only fights with Thais that I've ever had have been with ladyboys because they just don't like what you say. I had a fight with 2 ladyboys in Singapore, and I knocked them both out. That was the last time I've had a fight. Well, almost the last time that I've had a fight. And I didn't want to get into any kind of a scrap, but they, you know, it was like they started taking off the belt and taking their shoe. They were going to hit me, and it was not pretty. So they are, and you know, listen, some of the ones who sometimes, I don't know about now, but in the past it used to be, if you walk past Sukhumvit Soy 7, I think it was. Yeah, I put it in the book. Sukhumvit Soy 7, if you walk past there used to be a group of about 5 ladyboys standing around there. And what they would do is they would come up to you and kind of touch you. And you're like, oh, no, no. And you're concentrating on that, and then they slip your wallet out of your pocket. So anytime they got near me, I'm like, get the fuck, get away from me, man. You know, and then they never came, they didn't want any problems with anybody, because they knew if they did something, then that was, you know, detrimental to what they were trying to do there. So anyway, my buddy says they need somebody to show them around. I said, okay. I said, if you want, they can stay at my apartment. I had 2 fights in my life and lost them both. Oh, well, that's too bad. But you know what? If I had it my way again, I wouldn't ever fight. I would never have a fight. I just wouldn't do it. I'd have the ability to fight, but I would never fight. I think it was immaturity and stupidity and just ego that made me fight before, you know. But anyway, so I said to them, okay, you know, you guys can come over, you can stay with me. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. I had a big 2-bedroom apartment with a huge kitchen, huge living room, and a big balcony. It was like 30,000 baht, plus all the, you know, the electric and at the time it was modem. I had a phone, I had a modem, so that I had 2 phone lines so that I could go on the internet. So I mean, I was paying like 45,000 baht a month for this place. Very, very nice place. And I said they could stay with me. So when one of the guys, the older guy, said to me, I'm not going to say his name, but when he, and I didn't put this in the book because at the time I wasn't sure I should. Well, I think most ladyboys are pretty, they're pretty mellow, unless you want to make a problem with them. I don't know, Jim. I didn't do it. I didn't take it down. So anyway, these guys are supposed to come over. I know them. I didn't know them, but I knew of them from Palm Springs, where my friend lived, and where he still lives part-time. I said, okay, send him over. Send him on over, I'll give him a good time. And so there were two guys. One guy eventually died from deep vein thrombosis. And the other guy was an older guy, a little bit older. He's about 50 at the time. And he was married. So they both come over. Now, they both stayed in the place the first night. Then the older guy says to me, I don't want to stay here because you only have 2 bedrooms and you're sleeping on the couch. We're sleeping, one of us is sleeping in your room, and I just don't think it's right. Now, what I think is he didn't like the other guy very much. The other guy was a little obnoxious. He was all right. He was a good guy, but he was a bit obnoxious. And so I said, okay, whatever. So he goes and gets a hotel. We have a good time. Everything's good. We go out a couple times together. And the guy that was staying with me, who got the deep vein thrombosis, he went out and like one night, I don't know if he got rolled by a ladyboy or he just got beat up or he just fell asleep. I don't know exactly what happened. But he told me, oh, I got rolled. They took 30,000 baht from me. And I was like, dude, I thought he was a bit of a drunk at the time. And, if you're drinking to the point where you're blackout drunk, I mean, he was a guy who, let's put it this way, we go to Lumpini Stadium to watch the fights, the old Lumpini Stadium. We go there. Every time the winning fighter came down, he'd give him a couple thousand baht. He'd just break off, 2,000, 3,000 baht, give it to him. And they would wire him, Then he'd give the other guy who lost 1,000 baht or something. It's like, dude, what are you spending all this money for? You don't have to do that. Give him 100 baht, 200 baht, But he just thought he was, I'll show them, Let me give them some money. So, eventually the time comes for them to go back. My friend who was staying with me, he goes back. He turned out to be a pretty nice guy, but when he was in Phuket with me, and I noticed his ankle was huge. I mean, it was like that. And I go, dude, what's wrong with your leg? And he showed me, pulled up his pant legs, and he had, like elephant legs. I mean, it just, like one of them was like an elephant leg, the other one was like normal. And I'm like, dude, that's not right. You need to go into the hospital, like right away. So, I mean, like 3 days later, I was trying to get him to go in the hospital, but he was going out getting smashed. I could never find him. Thank you, Joe. Please click the thumbs up for Joe's super chat. I'd appreciate it. And Joe would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Choke D again, Joe. So, finally, I get him to go to the hospital. And the hospital tells him, this is, 26 years ago, something like that. Well, I had just started seeing my wife, so, yeah, it was about 25 years ago. So, he eventually goes to the hospital. They tell him, we can't take care of you here. We can give you some medicine and some stuff that will, help you, but you need to go to the hospital in Bangkok. So he was scared shitless. He went back to Bangkok. My wife goes, he's so scared. And I was like, okay, here's what you do. Go in with him to the doctor. Take care of him as best you can. You know, make sure he's okay. She's like, okay. So he goes in the doctor. He gets taken care of, and he turns his life around. He stopped drinking. He stopped smoking. He got his legs wrapped like they told him to. He's taking blood thinner. He's doing everything right. So he flies back. Now, he's also bitching and moaning with Japan Airlines about how he should get a first-class ticket because if he flies economy, his legs, it might kill him. So they eventually give in and give him a ticket. I couldn't believe it. So he flies home. I don't hear from him for a couple of weeks, and then he calls me. He's like, Scott, I want to do business. We've got to do business. I said, okay, well, what do you got in mind? He's like, oh, I want to do some importing and exporting. He goes, listen, a couple of days, I'm going to send you like 10 grand. I want you to buy a bunch of stuff. You know, it was like, keep a grand for yourself, buy a bunch of stuff, and then send the stuff back. I said, okay. I said, okay, great, no problem. Yeah. So a couple days later, I speak to my friend, the guy who lives in Ecuador part-time, Palm Springs part-time, and he says, do you know that Chuck has died? His name was Chuck, like Chuck, you know, but not the same Chuck. I said, no, I didn't know that. And what happened was he was asleep, he got a blood clot, and he died. And that was the last we heard from him. But what happened with the other guy is what is a story. Because after Chuck went home, they both went home, he came back to Thailand. Apparently, he and his wife had an amicable split. He's moved to Pattaya. I'm like, oh, okay. I said to him, hey, you want to hook up? We'll meet up. You want to come to Bangkok? Come to Bangkok. No, I don't want to come to Bangkok. You come to Pattaya. I'm moving. I'm getting everything in order. I said, okay, I'll come to Pattaya. So I had no idea what was going on. I just knew, okay, meet me at this bar, and, you know, we'll hook up, we'll talk, we'll have a couple drinks, we'll have a good time, I'll go back home, boom, end story. I go down, and I think it was on 2nd or 3rd Street, something like that, there was a bar, and I see he's sitting facing out, and there's a woman facing him. And I said, oh, so he's got a chick. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. I start walking in, I walk in, and I look, and I go, oh, Ladyboy. I thought, is this place a Ladyboy? I go, no, it's not. They got regular women, they got Ladyboys, whatever you want here. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, this is Angela. I go, hi, Angela, how nice to meet you. So he and I talked for a little while, and he just goes, okay, I'm going to go home now. I mean, I was there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. He's like, all right, I'm going home now. I said, oh, okay. I found out later that he was totally into the Ladyboy scene. Which, honestly, I would have just been like, okay, whatever floats your boat. I talked to him a couple days ago. He's not traveling right now. He's just working. He's kind of, I don't know. He said he wasn't feeling good. So I'll talk to him soon again. But I did talk to him the other day. I was surprised he called me. And so I called him back. I missed his call and I called him back. But anyway, so I'm like, I call my buddy up and I go, do you know that this guy is like totally into Ladyboys? And he started laughing. I go, what are you laughing about? He says, there was a time when I went over to his house to house sit with my girlfriend. And we decided to look for some videos to watch. Then I saw there was all this porn. He said, I wanted to find something to watch. So, you know, her and I were sitting there, you know, we had all these videos. We're like, okay, so now we can watch all these videos. And This is back in the day of VHS tapes. So he starts putting in VHS tapes, puts a tape in, and all of a sudden he sees, hey, wait a minute, they both have the same little things dangling. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute, that one doesn't have, that's what, and he's like getting confused. And so he goes, all right, let me take this out. He takes it out, he puts in another tape, same thing. Takes it out, puts in another one, same thing. So that's when he knew, but he never said to me, Monash was in here the other day, but he knew that this guy was into them. I don't think he really knew the extent of how into them he was, but he knew. So I tried messaging the guy, I tried calling the guy, I tried to meet up with him again. After I went that one day, and I wasn't giving him a hard time, I didn't say anything bad, I wasn't negative, I didn't say anything that could be construed as, discriminatory or anything in that vein. He has never contacted me or my friend ever again this is, 25 years ago. He's never contacted, now he might be dead for all I know, I don't know. But he never got back to us, and he never wanted to talk to us again. I don't know why. And I told my friend, I said, if he had just said, listen, sometimes I like to, do my thing with the LADYBOYS. I would have been like, okay, whatever floats your boat, pal. That would have been me. But that's not, that's not how he thought. Anyway, all right, let me get back to this. The top 5 countries with the most visible and sizable transgender population are often determined by social acceptance, legal recognition, and the visibility of transgender communities. Here are the 5 countries known for their prominent transgender communities. Number 1, as you might expect, Thailand. Well, he wasn't really a friend because I didn't know him before he came over to Thailand. Then he came to Thailand, he stayed one night in my apartment, and then the next, now, he never would go to the bars with me. I would always ask him to go to the bars, and he went to like a beer bar with me and the other guy once. And the other guy was like giving him a hard time. And, then it was like after that, we didn't go out anymore. He never wanted to go out. And I was like, okay, I guess, whatever. The other guy wanted to go out. He was into women, as far as I knew. But, anyway, number 1, Thailand. Thailand is widely recognized for its large and visible transgender population, particularly ladyboys, kathoeys. The cultural acceptance of gender diversity and the prominence of transgender individuals in its media and entertainment make Thailand a global center for transgender visibility. Despite social acceptance, transgender individuals in Thailand face challenges with local recognition, such as the inability to change their legal gender on official documents. Number 2, and I didn't think about this one. I did think a little bit about China, but number 2, India. India has a long history of recognizing transgender individuals known as Hiras. The Hira community is recognized as a third gender and has been an integral part of Indian society for centuries, often playing roles in religious and cultural ceremonies. India legally recognizes Hiras as a third gender. In 2014, the Supreme Court of India granted legal recognition to transgender individuals, allowing them to identify as a third gender on official documents. Interesting. I didn't think of India. At number 3, the United States. The United States has a large and diverse transgender population. The visibility of transgender individuals in media, politics, and activism has increased significantly in recent years. The transgender rights movement in the United States has made significant strides through challenges and discrimination. Has made significant strides, though challenges and discrimination persist. Excuse me. Legal recognition of transgender rights varies by state. Some states allow individuals to change their gender marker on official documents without surgery, while others have more restrictive policies. Federal protections are also evolving. Yeah, I know nothing about it in the United States other than, I don't know any in the United States, and I know a few gay people, and I don't care, as long as they don't, they don't try anything on me if I'm drunk or something like that. I don't care. But I don't really know anybody, and I don't really know much about the laws there, and quite frankly, I just don't want to get involved in it. It's their fight, and I don't like the way that the left seems to be, how can I say this, supporting some of these things. Some things I think are okay, and some things I think are just too far over the top. Like in Paris, in the Olympics, I think that's just way over the top. So, all right, let me go on here. Number 4, and this did surprise me, although once I started to think about it, I thought maybe not. Brazil. Brazil has a vibrant transgender community, particularly in the urban areas like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. The country is known for its transgender performers, particularly in Carnival. Oh, that's right. However, Brazil also has one of the highest rates of violence against transgender individuals in the world. Brazil allows individuals to change their gender marker on official documents without surgery. Despite legal advancements, transgender individuals often face significant social discrimination and violence. And, the bottom line is they're always going to experience that. You can try to educate people and try to make them more tolerant, but it's not going to happen. You might get some more people that are a little more tolerant, they just don't care or whatever. But the bottom line is there's always going to be people who are like, I just don't see that. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. I don't even want to think about it. And if that's how it's supposed to be, then c'est la vie. All right, number 5. Oof, got a headache now. Number 5, the Philippines. Now, I expected this to be like number 2. The Philippines has a visual transgender community, as I said, with many transgender women referred to as bakla or bayot. The country has a rich tradition of gender diversity, and transgender individuals often play prominent roles in entertainment and beauty pageants. In the Philippines, everybody's a model or a singer. They're in beauty pageants. They're in singing competitions. I mean, that's big business in the Philippines. The Philippines does not yet have comprehensive legal recognition for transgender individuals. However, there is a growing advocacy for transgender rights, and the community enjoys a degree of social acceptance, particularly in urban areas. These countries are notable for their transgender populations due to a combination of cultural acceptance, historic context, and ongoing advocacy for transgender rights. The visibility and challenges faced by transgender individuals in these countries vary widely, reflecting different social, legal, and cultural environments. All right, now, yeah, I mean, I don't know, the exact numbers of all these places or anything like that, but I'll just accept it. Even though maybe I shouldn't, but I'll accept it. Now, I'm going to get into There are some famous transgender actors and actresses, and I'm going to get into that. And some of them, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, that's 4 out of 11 are Thai. So that tells you something else. But you know what, I mean, even now, to this day, 25 years later, excuse me, that guy has never contacted me or my friend. And he was good friends with my friend. Now, he separated from his wife, and eventually I guess they got a divorce. Because she knew of his proclivity for, you know, the third gender. You know, I mean, I guess she just said, you know, hey, whatever. He gave her a good payout or something, and that was that. I don't know who that is. I have no idea who these people are, but I will read what I have. Oh, wait a minute. It was 4 out of 9 of them were from Thailand, and how many from the Philippines? Oh, God. One out of 9. So, here are some famous ladyboys, transgender women from around the world, each known for their contributions to entertainment, activism, and public life. Nongpoi, Sri Chada Pecharat, Thailand. Nongpoi is one of the most famous and celebrated ladyboys in Thailand. She won the Miss Tiffany's Universe pageant in 2004 and went on to win Miss International Queen, a global transgender beauty pageant, in the same year. Nongpoi has built a successful career as an actress and model, appearing in numerous Thai and international films. Her fame has made her a symbol of transgender beauty and success in Thailand. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say about that. I mean, you know, yeah, okay, so I would say out of 20 of them, maybe one of them, you have a hard time telling. Maybe 1 out of 50. You look and you go, I'm not sure. But I have a rule. And I've had this rule just like the rule where I say it's the golden rule. You don't get emotionally involved with a prostitute. This is, if you have any doubt about the gender, you pass. You say, no, thank you. I'll look elsewhere. I'll get into it with somebody else. But let me pass on you, honey. Okay, Carmen Carrera, United States. She's a transgender woman who gained fame as a contestant on the reality TV show RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know if RuPaul is a man or a woman. I have no idea. She transitioned after appearing on the show and has become an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. Carmen has worked as a model, walking the runway for major fashion brands and appearing in high-profile campaigns. She is also known for her activism, particularly in raising awareness about transgender issues in the fashion industry. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that because, you know, the fashion industry, for some reason, they've got all kinds of different people that work for them, and I guess they I don't even know what to say. They allow them, and they think they're good for business or whatever. I don't really know. Okay, number 3, Leah T, Brazil. Brazilian-born, internationally renowned transgender model. She's the daughter of the famous Brazilian footballer Toninho Cerezo and became one of the first transgender models to gain widespread recognition in the fashion world. Leah T has modeled for brands such as Givenchy and appeared in high-profile fashion magazines including Vogue. She is also a vocal advocate for transgender rights and visibility in the fashion industry. Let me see something. What is the percentage? Let's see here. The figure ranges, the number of human beings that are transgender ranges from 0.1% to 0.6%. So that's 1 out of 1,000 to 6 out of 1,000. What can I say? Okay, now, number 4 from the Philippines, Gina Rosero. Gina Rosero is a Filipino-American transgender model. They're always models and actresses and activists. Born in the Philippines, she moved to the United States and became a successful model working with major fashion brands. She gained international attention after coming out as a transgender during her TED Talk in 2014. She founded Gender Proud, an organization advocating for transgender rights and the ability to change legal gender markers without surgery. Now that's a bit freaky to me. Mimi Tao. Mimi Tao? Mimi Tao is a Thai transgender model who became the first openly transgender contestant on the American reality TV show Project Runway. Okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess whatever. Her appearance on the show brought her international recognition. She didn't win though, apparently. Mimi started her career as a monk before transitioning and pursuing model. Who would have thought that? She was a monk? She has become an inspirational figure representing transgender women in the fashion industry and raising awareness about transgender issues globally. You know, I don't know what to say about the whole raising the issues and teaching people how to become more tolerant and accepting. I'm neither for or against. I'm just like, okay, there you are. If you're accepted, you're accepted. If you're not, you're not. I don't know what else to say. What happens with me? If I'm accepted, I'm accepted. If I'm not, oh well. And, you know, just because they're transgender doesn't mean they should have special privileges. I will say that. They shouldn't have any special privileges to where, you know, oh, well, I'm transgender, so, you know, you're not allowed to say anything negative against me. Why not? She's ugly. She's beautiful. You know, why shouldn't anybody be able to say that? Now, I don't know. I don't know if I'm not thinking in the correct manner or whatever, but that's how I think. All right, let me go on. Laverne Cox, United States. She's an American actress and transgender advocate, best known for her role as Sophia Bursett on the Netflix series Orange is the New Black. You know, I watched that when it first came out. And I watched like 2 seasons, and I was like, hey, this is pretty good. Because I thought it was good that the girl that was the main character at first, I don't know if she still is, or remained that, but I thought, oh, she's basically a good girl who had something go wrong in her life, and now she's in jail. She's in prison. Oh, wow, let's see what happens with her. And then I think she turned lesbian. Because, you know, she needed to get hers. You know, which I guess that's understandable after a number of years. You know, it's kind of like... anyway, she became the first openly transgender person to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category. I did not know that. She's also a leading voice in the transgender rights movement, advocating for greater visibility, legal protections, and equality for transgender individuals. Okay. Now, number 7, Yoshi Rinrada, Thailand. She's a well-known actress, Thai actress, model, and beauty queen. She gained fame for winning the Miss Tiffany's Universe pageant in 2004 and went on to represent Thailand in the Miss International Queen pageant. Okay, so she didn't win it, but she went on to take part in it. She's celebrated for her beauty and has become a popular figure in Thai media. She continues to work in film and television, representing the transgender community in mainstream entertainment. Okay. Number 8 from Australia, Andrea Pejic. Well, did he make the change, or was it just he wanted to cross-dress? I mean, both are kind of different. Andrea Pejic is a Bosnian Australian transgender model known for her work in both male and female fashion before she transitioned. She was one of the first transgender models to achieve significant success in the fashion industry. After transitioning, Andrea continued to model for major fashion brands and appeared in publications like Vogue. That Vogue, boy, they're always putting these people in there. They must, I don't know how if they talk about it, or if they just think that the readers need to accept it, or the readers will accept it. I don't know how other people feel about it, because I don't usually think about this. For me, it's a no. I don't even go there. You know, they want to do what they want to do. Good for them. That's how I think. These individuals have made significant contributions to their respective fields and have become influential figures in the global transgender community. Their visibility and success have helped to challenge stereotypes, promote acceptance, and advocate for transgender rights worldwide. Now, hasn't made any effect on me. Now, I will tell you, the one person who has had an effect on me is my wife's friend. I don't have anything against her. I like her. She's nice, you know. She's just like anybody else that's a nice person. And that's, you know, and that does remind me, like, you know, hey, don't look past that. However they want to be, that they can do whatever they want. That's fine. That's kind of why I have an open mind about it. She's the nicest person, really. And so, you know, I don't care. Do what you want to do. Have a good time. But, you know, when we go out, we have friendly conversation. We laugh and, you know, no problems. So, there's that. Now, the last person on this list is the person who I was talking about earlier, beautiful boxer, Nong Tum, also known as Prenya Charanpon, a famous Thai transgender woman who gained international recognition as the beautiful boxer. Her life story is one of determination, resilience, and breaking gender barriers. Okay. You know, these stories come out about her grit, her determination, or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's her or a guy, or if it's a transgender, it's a guy, it's what. After a while, what happens is you see all these determinations of grit, all these examples of grit, determination, and what else did they say here? Resilience. And to me, it's like, it's just another story. Everybody has their own story. That's the thing. Everybody has their own story. So, okay, I think it's great. She did a lot. She moved herself up. She had some hardships. But is it going to change my life? No, it's not. Well, I think actually, I don't know when he was changed over, but I think that ChatGPT only goes up to 2023. So maybe they don't have a lot of information. Now, I was surprised to hear him say he did not think that the boxers who are being identified by some media outlets and some organizations as male, this Khalif or whatever it's called, whatever he's called, that is fighting for the gold medal, something like that. That's I was surprised because he came out and said, I don't think they should be fighting these women. They're beating up on women. They're men beating up on women. I was surprised he said that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, because, you know, I mean, I look at it like when I was growing up, I hate to say it, you know, Bruce Jenner, I saw him, he was the greatest athlete ever. I was like, oh my God, this guy, wow, look at him. I want to be just like him. No, I don't. No, I don't. But when I was a little boy and he was on the Wheaties box, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Now I'm like, no, I don't want to go in that direction. Not for me. All right, so her name is Parinya Charanpon. She was born in 1981, and she used to fight. She was a Muay Thai fighter. She's an actress and a model. That's what she does now. I would imagine now, after many years of being in the public, that she probably has a pretty good life, and she's made quite a bit of money. Nongtun was born in a rural village in Thailand and knew from a young age that she was different. Growing up, she faced difficulties due to her gender identity, but found solace in Muay Thai, the traditional Thai martial art. She began her Muay Thai career in her teens, fighting in matches while presenting as male. What set her apart was her decision to fight wearing makeup, which garnered significant attention and made her a media sensation. Her beauty, combined with her fierce fighting skills, earned her the nickname Beautiful Boxer. Now, what I would say is, I would not think of her as one of the best Muay Thai fighters. I thought she was pretty good, but she wasn't great. She wasn't, you know, like a legend in Muay Thai, but she was pretty good. And, you know, she won a lot of fights, but she didn't fight at the very, very highest level. That's what I'll say. Let's see here. She fought not only in Muay Thai to prove her skills, but also to save money for gender-affirming surgery. Her success in the ring helped her achieve her goal, and she underwent surgery in 1999. Now, I'm trying to think about when I would have to look and see when it was that I did that TV show. Nongtun's story challenged traditional gender norms in Thailand, a country known for its cultural acceptance of gender diversity, but also one that has not seen such a public figure in Muay Thai. Now, that's true. Her visibility as a transgender woman in a traditionally male-dominated sport made her a pioneer. I can tell you that in the past, women were not allowed to touch the ring. I was at Lumpini Stadium, I'm on the ring, I'm sitting on the ring, I'm laying on the ring, I'm hunched over the ring, and a girl comes up. This happened, this is true. A girl came up and she started taking photos, and she started leaning on the ring apron. And I said, you cannot do that. I said, I'm sorry. Hey, you cannot touch the ring. She's like, why? And then some Thai guy goes, hey, back away. So she backed up and she goes, why can't I be on the ring? And I said to her, because this is Thailand. In Thailand, you cannot touch the ring, honey. She said, she got all pissed off. And I'm like, listen, this is their country, not your country. You know, I mean, that's just how I was thinking. I was thinking, what's she getting pissed off about? This is their country. It's not her country. Nangtum's life was immortalized in the 2003 biographical film Beautiful Boxer, which I do have that movie, which tells the story of her journey from a young boy to a celebrated Muay Thai fighter and her eventual transition. The film received critical acclaim and brought her story to a global audience. After her fighting career, Nangtum transitioned into acting, modeling, and performing in various entertainment ventures. She became a symbol of transgender rights in Thailand and an inspiration to many. She continues to be an advocate for transgender rights and has used her platform to raise awareness about issues facing transgender individuals in Thailand and beyond. She's also involved in mentoring young Thai fighters. I did not know that. She remains an iconic figure in both Muay Thai and the transgender community. Her story has inspired countless people, and she is remembered not only for her skill as a fighter, but also for her courage in living her truth. So there you go. That is Nangtum. You should look her up if you just type in Nong and then TOOM. She should pop up. Maybe the movie will pop up. Pretty good movie. I mean, you know, it wasn't fantastic, but it was pretty good, you know. Okay. Interesting to see. Now, one just walked by. A very large transgender just walked by. You know, talking to her friend. She was with some guy, talking to her friend. Now, when I look at her, do I go, oh wow, that's a transgender lady. I should like try to find out her story. And no, I don't care. She can be however she wants. You know. And I still question, like, is there something in the water? What is it? Maybe it's just the tolerant nature of Thais. They just, you know, mipe and rhyme. You know, they don't really care. So, pretty interesting. Anyway, let's see here. Do me a favor, click the like button. You don't have to love this subject, I understand, but it is something, I don't ever talk about it. And, you know, some people are very uncomfortable talking about this subject. I'm not uncomfortable with it. You know, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get into all that. I just look at it like you do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I hope you're happy. Whether if that means you want to be heterosexual, you want to be, you know, a lady boy, whatever you want to be. To me, it's fine. Just go ahead, do it. You're responsible for your own actions. That's the thing. You're responsible for yourself. And all the problems or good things that come with it, you're responsible for those too. You know. And, I mean, if I think about all the times that I've come across transgenders in Thailand, it's crazy. Literally hundreds of times. How many times have I really gave a shit? Really none. Now, I went to, where was it? Chiang Mai, I think. Got a headache. I went to Chiang Mai a couple years ago, and there was some kid running around, and then somebody asked me, how come that kid's running around alone? I was like, well, it's not really alone. You can't see, but out of the frame, there's all kinds of people cooing and asking the kid to do this and to do that. And what they didn't know is also off to the side was about 4 or 5 ladyboys who were all dancing. They were part of a bar, and the little kid's running around. He doesn't care. Kid's running around, laughing, and they're saying things, and then he's running somewhere else. And I just thought, this is kind of, the kid doesn't care. He didn't care. He's like 4 years old, running around doing his thing. And, the lady boys are being nice to him. The other people are being nice to him. I thought, you know what? If everybody's nice like this, there won't be any problems. The problems come from people who are not tolerant. Like people who say things like, what did Fred say earlier? Where is it? I don't even know where it is now. Let me see here. What did he say? These monsters don't fascinate me. They are terrifying. Oh, Jesus. They're terrifying. I'm so scared. Come on. Really? I mean, listen. I understand that, it's unusual. It's unorthodox. It's, in some people's view, it's abnormal. I understand that. But to say they're terrifying? Come on, man. To me, that's ridiculous. Seriously. I'm terrified. I'm so scared. And if you just walked up and said hello, how you doing, and then went on your way, nobody would care. That'd be it. That'd be the end of it. But some people, that's the way they think. And that's the way they're probably always going to think, So, anyway, I guess that's it for today. I don't know. Probably. The end. Anybody still out there? Or am I talking to myself? I got 28 people right now. Nobody's saying a word. And also, as I said earlier, do me a favor, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Go down and look in the description. Look down below at the merch. Excuse me. Look at the description to see all the ways you can check me out and help me and, everything like that. Yeah, but the merch is down at the very bottom. Still here, still listening. Well, you guys, I understand, because you guys always talk, but there's very few people. You got 28 people, so you got almost 30 people, and 2 people are talking. It always makes me wonder what the deal is when that happens. It's like 28 people, 2 people talk, and everybody else just sits there. Join in the conversation. Tell me what you think. I don't care what you think. It's up to you. You can say whatever you want here. I don't have to agree or disagree. I'm curious to know what some people think about ladyboys, because for me, I just don't pay them any mind. I don't pay attention, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know how many bots actually watch, Well, if it's a little laggy, you should probably hit refresh, because for me, it's on my computer, it's not at all laggy, and I'm looking and it says that the connection is quite good. So I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's all me. Might be. That's what she said. It's all me, baby. Anyway, like I said, I'm curious to know what you guys think. What you think about this subject. You know, because I know not everybody is tolerant. Some people are like Fred, they're terrifying, they're so scary, or whatever, you know. I understand that. And some people are kind of like me. I don't think so. No. I don't see a lot of near naked food vendors. Only one, every once in a while I bump into one online. I see one online, and those are, from what I see, they're not ladyboys. You see, there's always somebody who loves ladyboys. More power to him. If that's what he likes, good for him. There are those out there who just love them. Oh, I see you have a ladyboy, a Russian ladyboy on your channel there, MGTOW Gamer. It's so funny. I love this whole MGTOW thing. Men going their own way. You're going your own way. Why don't you just, really, you're going your own way. I understand that, but like the whole MGTOW, that phrase, I'm going my own way. So I'm not going to allow a chick to do what she wants and control me. I just want to get laid and just go on my way. I never want to get in a relationship or whatever they say. Ugh. I'm not that much into sexuality, man. I'm just not into it. Honestly, it took a lot for me to do this stream. I mean, you know, I know I make big money, but I have never felt intimidated by them. I'm telling you. Yeah, exactly. And that's me too. Now, I have had some incidents in my life where they were just assholes. That's happened a couple of times. It happened in Phuket once, where I would say this was kind of a mistake, but the ladyboy was being an asshole. The ladyboy thought that she was tough and that she could control the conversation, and you know, there was somebody, this is a long time ago, there was somebody that I was seeing in the bar that I had gone out with a couple times, and she was asking me something about, you know, oh, if I go out with you again, I want big money or something like that. And I go, nah, I ain't giving you shit, you know. And then for some reason, the ladyboy came up and said something to me, and I said, listen, I'm not with you. You just mind your own business. And it hit me. And as soon as it hit me, I elbowed it in the face. And then we got into a fight, and it was big. It was a big ladyboy. It was a big ladyboy. And I managed to, it got on top of me, and I managed just to roll it over. And that was it. But I had elbowed it in the face, and I cut it over its eyes. And so in Phuket, the next day, I was working, because I was working in Phuket. I was working, and then somebody came down the street and said, I'm police. And I was like, yeah, right. Because they were just dressed in street clothes. And then it showed me the badge, and I went, oh. And then I got into a tuk-tuk, and there was the girl and also the ladyboy. And I was like, oh, man. Somehow I got out of that one, but that wasn't very good. And then I said something about in Singapore, what happened. You know, and then like I said, certain places, like it was Sukhumvit Soy 7 before, or Soy 5. Was it soy? No, it was soy 7. You walk past that place, and they were all there ready. If if it was just one person, they're ready to like, oh my darling, oh, and they want to grab you, and then one of them pulls your wallet. So if once you learn that, you can kind of defend against it. And I thought that was kind of funny. After a while, I thought it was kind of funny because they never messed with me again. Once I said, you need to get away from me. That's right. Why do tomboys always have the hottest women as their girlfriend? That's the dilemma I need sorted. They don't. They don't always have the hottest girlfriends, man. Come on. Believe me, I've seen some that... In fact, I saw one yesterday. Well, if you just want one to bang, then what do you care? Bang them and leave them. And if they don't want to be with you, okay, go to the next one. What's the big deal? Listen, if you're dealing with a prostitute, what do you care? What do you care if, they don't want to be with you or you can't be with them? You're wasting your energy. You got life force. You got the life force, the energy that you could use to find other women. But I saw one yesterday, and I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe they were together. It was really pretty, how can I say? It was unusual. It was pretty unusual. Tomboys have the hottest women. Sometimes I think that when people come to Thailand, their standards, their rankings change. Well, I've been meaning to do a, on the Golden Rule stream in the next couple. I meant to do it already, but pretty soon. And this is what I just never understand it. Jack, do you live here? I'm curious. I turned around and got back to the hotel. No, I have a thing here when guys come to Thailand. Or how long have you lived here? When guys come to Thailand and they see women, and I'm talking about visitors and short-term stays. All of a sudden, the girl that back home might be a 5 or a 6 is an 8 or a 7. They think they're a lot better looking, and sometimes they are. To be honest, and listen, I look at the women here and I go, I look at the girls that work here, I look at people that come in, I look at people walking by, and I would say 90% of them, no. Not good looking at all. It'd be like pass. You're passing on all of them. I think it's the opposite. Girls back home that might be a 7 or 8 become a 5 or 6. Well, maybe they should be a 5 or a 6. Yeah, next. Next. I mean, honestly, the aesthetics is nice. You just want to bang them. That's great. But if you want a little something deeper than that, well, they better have more of an aesthetics. Really. They better have a lot more than that going on, man. You know. Otherwise, it's, you know, you finish and see you later, honey. Bye-bye. It's that simple. See you later. Bye. Oh, you work in a bar? Okay, I know what you're for. You're there for me to have a good time. That's it. Yes, Jack, this is Pacamara. Yeah, cheesecake was good. I'm not gonna have any more now for a while because it was very good, but very fat. So I would say, if you come here and you expect to find a girlfriend, and then you're in the bar all the time and you're like, well, maybe this is the one. Maybe she's the one. Maybe this is the one that she's going to be my wife. Oh, this is the one. She's going to be my next girlfriend. I mean, if you're going into a bar, listen, most of the time, forget about it. Don't even think about it. Have a good time. And you've got to go on your merry way and get on down the road. That's how it works. Anyway, another day. Another $100,000 that I've made. Alrighty then. Thank you guys and gals. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming in. What is the next, let's see here, the next video, or the next stream. The next stream, I believe, is, oh, those who break the golden rule. Those who break the golden rule. You're welcome, see ya. Yes, those who break the golden rule. And we all know what the golden rule is. There's only one golden rule. Okay, Bruce, Jim, Danico, Dale, Jack, everybody. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Choke D, Lil Jerk, and my. That's good luck, and see you later.